Little Miss Busy. Little Miss Busy loved nothing more than to be hard at work keeping herself busy. Busy as a bee. In fact, as busy as a hive of bees. Every day she would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. There she is, waking up, moon's still out, dark outside. Then Little Miss Busy would read a chapter from her favourite book. It was called Work is Good for You. And then she would get down to do the housework. There she is, having some breakfast, reading a book. She would begin by tidying, and then sweeping, and then dusting, and scrubbing, and polishing until everything was spotless. She would clean a house from top to bottom, and then from bottom to top, just to make sure. There she is, being busy, cleaning the house. She even dusted the bread and polished the butter. She wasn't happy unless she was busy working. And she didn't rest all day, not for a minute, not for a second. From 3 o'clock in the morning till after midnight. There she is, the moon's back out and she's still going. That was until last Monday. Little Miss Busy wasn't up at 3 o'clock in the morning. She wasn't even up by 6 o'clock. She wasn't even out of bed by 9. She was ill. Oh, calamity, she cried. I won't be able to do any work. There she is in bed, not feeling well, and it's bright outside, the sun is out. She telephoned Dr. Makewell. 5 minutes later, he was at her bedside. He asked her to put out her tongue. He examined her throat, and he looked at her hands and feet. What you need is rest. A lot of rest, he smiled with a broad smile. There he is, Dr. Makewell. A lot of rest, repeated Little Miss Busy to herself. Oh, calamity. There was a loud thump, which was the sound of Little Miss Busy falling over backwards onto her bed. Lucky for her. There she is, falling backwards onto her bed. On Tuesday, Mr. Strong called to see Little Miss Busy. He brought her 72 eggs. Go on, count them. Look at them all, 72 eggs. There's nothing like eggs to give you strength, said Mr. Strong. By the 72nd egg, Little Miss Busy was feeling much better. That was until Mr. Strong said, now you must get some rest to get your strength up. There was a loud thump, which was the sound of Little Miss Busy falling over backwards onto the bed. Lucky for her. There she is. She finished all the eggs. Now she's got to rest. On Wednesday, Mr. Greedy came to visit. He brought an enormous bowl of food. I always find that eating a big meal makes me feel better, said Mr. Greedy. That's a big bowl of food he's brought over. Little Miss Busy ate the lot. She felt better than ever. That was until Mr. Greedy said, now you must rest to let your stomach settle. There was a loud thump. And you know what that was, don't you? That's right. Little Miss Busy had fallen over backwards. There she is, back in bed. On Thursday, Mr. Nonsense popped in to see Little Miss Busy. He brought her an umbrella. Hello, he said. I hear you're feeling well. You don't need a rest. Little Miss Busy jumped up for joy, right out of bed. You need a holiday, finished Mr. Nonsense. There was a loud thump. That's right. There, you look better already, said Mr. Nonsense, and left. There he is, Mr. Nonsense. By the open window, Little Miss Busy picked herself up. A small smile formed on her face. Something Mr. Nonsense had said had actually made sense. She had never thought of going on a holiday before, and the more she thought about it, the happier she felt. There she is, she's looking happy already. She thought of all the fun things she could do. There was planning and organising, There was all the shopping she would have to do, and there was packing, and then she would have to learn the language and read lots of books about the place she was going to. What a lot of work. Little Miss Busy simply smiled. There she is, learning everything she needs to learn about going on the holiday. The following Thursday, she was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everything was ready. Little Miss Busy had had one of the busiest weeks of her life, which is saying something. She had only one thing left to do, and that was, see, there she is. She's awake, 3 o'clock in the morning, dark outside. She had to learn how to twiddle her thumbs. The end. All right, sweetie, you have a good night tonight. Sweet dreams. Love you.